The Choir Guys podcast wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. To see the full list and learn more about them, visit thechoirguyspod.weebly.com/r-sponsors. Now here's a word from this week's featured sponsors. When it comes to insurance, one size does not fit all. At Hames Insurance, they're an independent agency, so they work for you, not just one company. With multiple options for home, auto, life, and more, they'll find the best fit for your needs and budget. Visit hamesinsurance.com and let them help protect what matters most. Tired of making your own sight reading examples? Sight Reading Factory generates unlimited, tailored exercises in seconds. It's a total game changer for music educators. Try it at sightreadingfactory.com. Are you looking for high-quality choral music and a company that pays composers fairly? Endeavor gives creators 50% royalties, not 10%. Explore their repertoire at endeavormusicpublishing.com. Dale Duncan tried every sight singing method out there and saw what didn't work. So he built one that does. Designed for beginners, S-Cube trains the ear and the eye from day one, celebrates progress, and makes room for fun. If you want real results with zero gaps, check out the S-Cube sight singing program today. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Choir Guys podcast. My name is Blake Richter.
And I'm Danny Gutierrez.
We have a great episode in store for you today. We have the President of the United States. No, of the Southwest American Choral Directors Association on the podcast.
SWACDA.
SWACDA.
Yep, our guest retired as a choral director in 2018 after 30 years as a Missouri public school music teacher. During his teaching tenure, his choirs performed 8 times at the Missouri Music Educators Association Conference and for the 2002 Music Educators National Conference. NAFME. A bunch of insurance brokers. In his retirement, Owen serves as the organist accompanist at the Trinity Lutheran Church in Chesterfield, Missouri. He has a Master's of Music and Choral Conducting from Missouri State University, a BME voice emphasis from Evangel University, my alma mater, and an AA from Neosho County Community College in Kansas.
Is that, I wonder if that's Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't think so, knowing our guest, but, I'm just kidding. I just heard AA, and that's where my mind went. Sure. Fun fact, our guest actually used to have your job, Danny.
Wow.
Woo-hoo. Please welcome Jonathan Owen. Hello, sir.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've been wanting to have you on for a while, so I'm glad we finally got to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome.
I keep forgetting, and I've heard this many times. You even said it at National ACDA. You said my former position or something along those lines at NICSA. So tell us about your time at NICSA.
Yeah.
It was great. I came in at I think a really great time. It was prior to the big growth spurt.
Yeah.
So my classroom was in what is now, I think, the junior high.
Yeah.
Okay. And I followed 2 really great ladies. Peggy Hicks Preston had been at the high school for many, many years. And then she moved to the middle school, and Sherry Stewart was at the high school. And she had been very successful at Crane schools and did a really great job at NICSA.
They were both my teachers.
And she moved to Inman, I believe.
That's where I had her as a teacher. So
okay. And then I came in the high school. Pat Allen was the middle school or junior high teacher at that time.
She was also my teacher.
Wow.
I loved NICSA. I was there 2 years, but I loved teaching at NICSA. I have great memories.
And you went from NICSA to where? We went
to Kickapoo, right?
Yeah. Kickapoo. And then you have are there some popular famous students you had at Kickapoo? All-time legendary type of people that you taught at Kickapoo?
Well, I had some wonderful students at Kickapoo.
Like who?
Many of them are legendary.
Like Susan, Susan LaBar?
I had Susan LaBar.
Ooh.
I had Lucas Graybill from High School Musical.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so you need to tell us about Susan as a student and Lucas as a student. That's important for my knowledge.
Okay. I came in Susan's junior year, and I followed Connie Blue, who people on the podcast may or may not know who that was.
Legend.
Legendary
Yeah.
choral director in Missouri. Um, and Susan was great. She sang alto. Um, she was kind. She worked hard. She was talented. Her class was one of the most talented classes that I've ever taught, I think.
Hmm.
I mean, it had student after student after student that went into music, that kept doing music, that are still doing music, and sang extremely well. Lucas transferred to Kickapoo from Logan Rogersville
Oh.
his sophomore year. So he came in his sophomore year. I had him sophomore, junior, and senior. And he was a great student, a great leader, great singer. He was really involved in Springfield Little Theater.
Yeah.
And I think even in high school, he was ready to be like in California.
Yeah. That sounds
Yeah.
about right. Fun fact, Susan texted me one day. She was like, "Hey, Lucas Graybeal needs a place to record some voiceover auditions. Could he come to your house?" And me being the middle school, high school musical fan, because it came out whenever I was in middle school and I was the biggest fangirl of High School Musical, I was like, oh yeah, I could probably find some time in my schedule. And so, yeah, he came over to our house and he, just recorded some really entertaining voiceover auditions. And he was literally the nicest dude ever. As someone who is obsessed with High School Musical, there's an embarrassing music video of me dancing to Bet on It from High School Musical 2 on the internet somewhere.
Where would you find that video? That's so weird.
Where would I find that video?
Yeah, like if I were like just Googling it.
It's not hard to find.
So like
if you type in Bet on It Blake Richter, it's something.
Perfect.
But I was a huge fan of High School Musical, and so he was just the nicest dude and acted like we were friends, and you could tell he's genuinely a great human being. And we did High School Musical at the junior high this year, and he actually sent in like a video congratulating the cast for opening night, and they got to watch that. So he's a super cool guy. So I'm sure that is all because they had you as a teacher, that both Susan and Lucas are the best humans. So props to
Lucas, we text not often, but we text every so often. And one of my students who teaches at Hartville High School, I had her in Conway. They did High School Musical, and he sent an email to them, congratulating Wildcats for their performance and all that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's
I
cool.
love it.
So how did you get into music and become a music educator? How did that path start for you, Jonathan?
Well, my family was musical in church. My dad had taken a couple piano lessons when he was in college to be a pastor, so he could play a couple hymns. My mom played by ear, and so I started piano lessons really young, played by ear, and had taken a couple years and was sitting at the piano crying because I couldn't remember how the song went. And my mom came in, and that's how they found out that my teacher would play something, and then I would come home and play it, what she had played.
Wow.
But nobody knew that I was doing that. They just thought I was learning really quickly.
Wow.
And so then I got a song that I couldn't play, and I couldn't remember how it went. And my mom was trying to, count out the notes. And I said, I don't remember how it went. And I was like 7 years old. And that's how they realized that I was really not learning. So we actually switched teachers. And so I took piano lessons all through. I played trumpet and French horn, was drum major. My dad was a principal, an elementary principal. Music was just part of my life.
Yeah.
And so when I got to college, I went to the junior college, got my Associate of Arts degree. That's the AA right there.
I just wanted to say the Alcoholics Anonymous because I know that's the complete opposite of anything you would be involved in.
And was going to do piano and voice double major. And I realized I didn't enjoy memorizing piano stuff. And so when I got to Evangel, then I just did voice. I did take organ lessons for a year and took piano lessons for a year. but I completed my piano proficiency pretty early, so it was more like I did it for fun.
Yeah.
Who's your
But
voice professor at Evangel?
Dr. Richard Honey.
Richard Honey.
I've heard that name.
I don't know if you know this, but when he retired, he well, you probably don't know this, but he gave me all of his music. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of books, and they all say Richard Honey in it. So whenever my private students look at it, they're like, "Who's Richard Honey?" I'm like, "Oh, that man."
If only I had time to explain.
Yeah, I had him for chorale and had Sharon for concert choir.
Yep, me too.
Took organ from Dr. Keene, and then took piano from Dr. Stephen Plate for a year.
Awesome. Well, cool.
So then you went to Evangel and you got your degree, and then what was your first job?
Conway.
Conway was the first one.
Yeah, right up I-44. We had it while I was there, it fluctuated a little bit. We had between 180 and 220 in the high school. So a pretty small school.
Okay.
Cool.
But they had a long history of really good music programs. And then right before I got there, they went through like 2 teachers in 3 years or 3 teachers in 2 years. And I came in and the high school had just basically sung unison for 2 years.
Okay.
And so I remember after my very first Christmas concert, winter concert, it was, we had done like 3-part, and the parents were like, that was amazing. Because it was, we were singing parts. So
Yeah.
it was I taught elementary, junior high, and high school there.
Oh, cool. So from Conway, was Nixa after that?
Yeah, Nixa followed that.
Okay. So Peggy, first of all, Peggy was my 4th grade computers teacher. So she went from like high school choir director to junior high to teaching at Inman 5th and 6th grade. And then she was at SB Elementary, which is K through 4. And then she went to computers teacher. And then she went to Century Elementary, which is where I had her for just a semester because I moved here. And so I only had her for a semester, but she is one of the best humans. Actually, my computer over here, her late husband, Scott, built it for me. And so I think of both of them all the time. I see Peggy all the time still because she still will accompany some of our choirs.
Okay.
And yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, my son had her for a computer teacher at Century.
Oh yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was one of my all-time favorite people. She still is one of my all-time favorite people. I was going to say she was one of my all-time favorite teachers as well. So yeah, you followed royalty right over there. Now, you only taught at Nixa for 2 years and you went to MMEA your second year?
Yes.
That's amazing. So you submitted your first year.
Then he's like, I'm out.
And then he's like, off to Kickapoo. Mic drop.
I would have stayed at Nixa. I really did love Nixa.
Yeah.
I loved working. Bill Townsend was the theater.
Yeah.
I enjoyed working with Bill, did great shows. I had my principal was incredible. The kids were awesome.
Who was your principal at that time?
I just got ready to say his name.
Sorry. Is it Mark Overstreet or Clay Hanna?
Yeah, Mark Overstreet.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my principal too.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
And I would have stayed there till retirement, I think.
Yeah.
And then when Kickapoo opened, and it had such a reputation and such a long history, and I went for the job, and I had no idea that I would get that job. And but Connie was supporting me, and told me later that she had told them that she really wanted me to have the job. So
that's huge.
It was a good move. It was a very good move. But I did love Nixa.
Well, and Brad Pitt's alma mater. How can you turn that down?
Well, yeah.
You got to raise up new Brad Pitts, which would be Susan LeBar and Lucas Graybiel.
There you go.
Susan LeBar is the Brad Pitt of the choral community. Encore Tours proudly supports the choir guys and the choral community that surrounds us. They work with all types of choirs to create custom international tours with guaranteed audiences, seamless logistics, and unforgettable performance experiences. Want to take your ensemble abroad? Bring your vision to life at encoretours.com/choir-guys. If you're a choir director tired of clunky fundraisers and unreliable companies, let us point you to one that works. Kansas-made frozen pastries. We've used them for over 5 years and have had an incredible experience every single time. In fact, last fall our choir sold over $35,000 worth of pastries, and honestly, it didn't even feel like that much work. The product is high quality, the company is great to work with, and students are excited to sell. It all arrives in a timely manner, and your program gets the funds it needs without the usual stress. Check them out today at kansasmade.com. What if your school's social media wasn't all on you? That's what Class Intercom offers, student-led, teacher-approved content creation that actually works. We've been using it for 3 years and the difference is huge. Students write the posts, we review and approve them. Class Intercom gives them a platform and gives us peace of mind. It also syncs with every school account, so no more logging into 5 platforms just to post one update. If you're ready for better content and less stress, check out classintercom.com today.
So, during your career, you've served in many different leadership positions, including, correct me if I'm wrong, MCDA president, MMEA Choral vice president, and then obviously you can't get enough since you're now the Southwest ACDA president. Why is serving and leadership so important to you, and what is your leadership philosophy?
I think it's important to give back. I've gotten so much throughout my whole career from MMEA, from MCDA, from teachers that were older than me that, were supportive of me or that I could listen to their choir and learn things, and to have the opportunity to lead in those organizations was really awesome and a great experience. And I wouldn't change anything on that. I was really surprised with the SWACDA. I was retired, and I had no idea that after I'd retired, somebody would come and say, "We'd like you to run for SWACDA president." I was shocked at that, actually. But I can't imagine teaching and doing it. So kudos to those people that went before me. I'm the first retired person to be president of SWACDA.
Nice.
And, there have been mostly college university past presidents, but there have been people who were teaching high school and middle school and doing this job. And so I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like how often would you say that you're working on Southwest ACDA stuff? Like every day? It's your new job.
It feels like a new job sometimes. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say every day, but we have a bi-weekly Zoom call with the leadership.
Okay.
I also have some Zoom calls. I Zoom multiple times a week with SWACDA stuff. Region presidents, we just had our national board meeting, region presidents meeting that was from 11 a.m. to 4:15 p.m.
Wow.
It's a long time to sit on a Zoom call with two 10-minute breaks.
Wow.
Then I created the magazine that we send out 2 times a month. And so I'm responsible for creating that, collecting the information that goes in that. And then Margie Camp helps me do some of the editing and stuff to get that sent out. But, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about this upcoming SWACDA Southwest ACDA conference in March? What are some things that you feel like the states should look forward to?
Albuquerque.
First of all, I've been to 3 site visits, I think, and every time I go, I like it better.
Awesome.
It's the weather is unbelievable. And when we're there in March, it will probably be it will be around 65.
Ooh.
And the lows will be like 35. So it'll be chilly in the morning with maybe a jacket. And then all day long it'll be comfortable. And then in the evening, maybe a light jacket. So the weather shouldn't be any rain during that time period. Everything is very walkable. We're using the convention center for all of our interest sessions and for the honor choir concerts. We use the Kiva, Keva Theater. for the honor choirs will be in there, and also the Big Sing. We're doing that again like they did in
Oh, nice.
Denver.
I love that.
The First United Methodist Church is where all the invited choirs will sing. It seats between 500 and 600. So the thing I like about that is rather than being in a huge auditorium and feeling like you're kind of there alone listening to choirs, you will be sitting kind of next to somebody. So to me, it's like community. It's a little bit more intimate. We're using St. John's Cathedral. It's an Episcopal church for the ecumenical service and for the church and worship immersion day. And then the Chemo Theater, which is a 1920s movie house that has been renovated, will be where the President's Concert is. And the President's Concert will have high school jazz ensemble, collegiate choir, and Apollo 5 as our invited choir. And I don't know if you've heard much about Apollo 5. They are part of the Voces 8 Foundation.
Okay.
And so like St. Louis, Albuquerque, a couple other cities are educational hubs for the Voces 8 Foundation. So they travel to those cities pretty regularly, and they go into the schools and work with students. And so that's actually how we got Apollo 5. Matthew Greer, who's the director of not the First United Methodist, but another Methodist church there in Albuquerque, they have a large concert series that they have, and Apollo 5 performs on that pretty regularly. So we are splitting the cost with him and his church. They will come in, do a session on Friday, sing on Friday night, have Saturday off, do a concert at his church on this concert series, and then go into Albuquerque Public Schools on Monday and Tuesday to do some educational things.
Sweet.
The honor choirs, we have 7 honor choirs at this convention. And I'm excited. I asked all of these people literally like 2 years ago. I didn't have a date. We didn't have a city. And I said, I really want you to do one of our honor choirs. Would you please hold kind of the spring of 26? And they all were like, yeah. So
you got some good people.
it's I tell you, I'm not the smartest person, but I'm smart enough to get really good, smart people around me. So 4 to 6 choirs, Elizabeth Hogan, which we all know and love dearly. 7 through 9 tenor bass is Gary Packwood, he's done a lot of honor choirs throughout our region. 7 through 9 SA is Elizabeth Nunez from the Young People's Chorus of New York City. I heard them at National in Cincinnati and was just like, it was amazing. And I thought, I have to have her come work with our kids. 9 through 11 mixed is Rollo Dilworth from Temple University, originally from St. Louis, actually. 12th grade mix is an ensemble that we've never had before in SWACDA. And I just kind of thought those seniors in high school, many of them are going to go off to college and major in music. They need to have an experience that prepares them for that next level. And so we have a 12th grade mixed honor choir with Elena Sharkova, who I just adore. We have a new ensemble this year, the Jazz High School Honor Choir, which is Christine Guter of California State University, Long Beach. And then the collegiate is Jonathan Tallberg, who is also from California State University, Long Beach. I heard his choir also in Cincinnati and just sat there speech almost like holding my breath. It was so incredible. So I'm so excited about the honor choirs and their conductors. We are having something a little different this year we haven't had for a few years. We are having some all-conference sings spread throughout. So before some of the concert sessions begin, we will have a past president leading a couple songs for the whole conference to sing. So
cool.
Jeffrey Murdoch will be leading one. Jeff Sandquist will be leading one. Julie Yu Oppenheim and Mark Lawley will each be leading some. And then there's another past president I've reached out to and waiting to hear back. So we could have one more on that. On Wednesday, we will be having immersion day. So people are we're going to really want to try to arrive Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. Um, we will have 12 R&R sessions from our different resource and repertoire chairs going on. The honor choir conductors will be presenting sessions on Wednesday. And we will also have a Kodai session from like 1:30 to 5 with Susan Brumfield,
Cool.
who is a huge Kodai. I mean, people in Kodai know that name, so that's exciting. Um, we have 20, I don't remember the number, 20 some interest sessions spread throughout Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. We're looking at having 19 traditional choirs, which is more than we usually have at SWACDA, and also 4 non-traditional choirs
Cool.
will be performing. So there's something, I mean, I really do believe there's something for everybody, and I think it's going to be a really neat experience.
That's awesome. And I love like that. I mean, has SWACDA ever been in New Mexico?
No,
Yeah, I love that we're going there.
no, and that's one of the things. I had three goals when I became president, and they start president-elect, and we had to start thinking about where we wanted to be and all that kind of stuff. And one of the goals was to have people realize or remember that SWACDA is not only like a 4-day every 2 years event. SWACDA is here all the time.
Yeah.
It's part of ACDA. We're here, and I wanted to make sure that we were reminding people of that. And so that's kind of where the magazine came into play and had the R&R people write articles. The region is kind of an interesting thing because everybody has their state, and you have your good friends and the people you've known for years, and you room with people and you're in sessions with people. And then national is kind of an exciting time to go to the national conference, and everybody knows national. You get your newsletters from national, and you hear about all these big name people. And then the regions, or at least for SWACDA in the past, has been kind of like we don't hear anything much about it until it's time to register and register kids for things, and then it's like we hear a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But SWACDA's been here the whole time, so that was one of my goals. The other goal I had was trying to keep more connection within the region. And I think I've done an okay job with that. We're trying to connect this summer with the states. So like Jeff Wall, who's from Oklahoma, will be at Oklahoma Choral Directors. Josh Oppenheim will either be or both, maybe Oklahoma and Kansas. I'm going to Kansas, KCDA. And I have friends there on Facebook, but I've never met a lot of those people. So I'm really excited for that. I will be at Missouri, of course, my home state. I'm going to Arkansas
Cool.
also this summer, and I judged their state a couple of years ago, and just phenomenal choirs and really wonderful people. So I'm excited to go back and kind of reconnect with some of them. New Mexico does not have a summer convention, but Margie Camp, who is my program chair, is going to TCDA and also Colorado. And for those, you guys I'm probably too young, but for people a little older than you and my age, they may remember that back in the 90s, early 90s probably, a video came out with Cherry Creek. It was called Daily Workout for a Beautiful Voice. And it was Charlotte Adams and the Cherry Creek Girls 21, who had performed at regional and national conferences multiple times. Margie was her middle school director, whose students fed into the high school. And then Margie also taught, I love telling this story. Margie, she taught in Texas and was very involved and very successful. But when she got to Cherry Creek, she had 12 students in the program and built it to a program of like 400 students a day.
Dang.
She's pretty amazing, pretty amazing person. And then the third thing that I wanted to create was to have someplace where it had never been. And, if you think, oh, we've got 7 states, there's probably all these choices. And we've been in 6 states and like 13 cities. There aren't very many more cities that we can use. because
Yeah.
we're either too big for the city with all the honor choirs that we have, or we're not quite big enough for a city to have us come in. And so I started looking at places. I looked at all the cities where we'd been and thought, where could we go that we've never been? I thought we've never been to New Mexico. And I'd never been to Albuquerque, but I thought let's try Albuquerque. So that was really my first choice. We looked at a couple other cities, not really doing site visits, but um, just kind of looking into if they could handle us hotel wise. One city that we looked at, it was for their performance hall, was going to be $25,000 a day.
Ooh.
And then they were a union city, which meant we had to use all of their workers, and that would have been 38,000 more
Per day?
for the course of not a day,
I was like,
but for the course of, so 138,000 just for the performing space.
goodness.
A couple other cities that we looked at would not work 2 years out with us. It was too far away. And that kind of happened with Jeff Murdoch in Denver. But he kind of gambled with it. He had a backup space, and the Buell said, we don't know if we'll work with you yet. And he kind of gambled, and then the Buell came through. But I didn't want to be that person that was gambling and then find out, oh, we can't be in that performance space. Now we've got to find someplace else.
Yeah.
And so it's just so expensive. And I hear people all the time saying, they just charge so much for all these conferences, for national and regional, even sometimes the state. But, we had our state, we had our at national, we had our regional board meeting, and we had coffee and bagels because it was the cheapest things that we could provide for the meeting. Coffee in Dallas was $189 per gallon.
Goodness.
$189 per gallon.
What brand of coffee were you getting?
Yeah, gold standard, I guess. I don't know. And we finished the first gallon, and the girl comes over and she goes, "Would you like to order another gallon?"
No.
And I wanted to say no, and then I had people that didn't have coffee yet, and I said yes. Gulp.
Yeah.
But we have a minimum food and beverage at the convention center, and we will meet that by doing the kids the honor choir meals and some receptions. We're also having an all conference dinner on Friday night.
Oh, cool.
And so we will meet the food and beverage, but I think that's what people don't realize when they're saying, "Oh, ACDA is ripping us off because they're charging all this money." We're not making money.
Yeah.
What we take in goes right out for our membership. And we have worked really hard with Albuquerque. And I don't believe their coffee is $189 per gallon. I think it's much less money. But we've worked really hard with Albuquerque to make sure that we have really nice accommodations, nice things, but that we're trying to get the best price for our membership.
Yeah. Awesome.
As choir directors, we all want our singers to become better readers, but finding the time and the tools to teach sight reading effectively can be tough. That's where Sight Reading Factory comes in. With customizable exercises, auto-graded assignments, and new auto-assessment features, Sight Reading Factory turns sight reading into a powerful, streamlined part of your curriculum. You can focus on the exact skills your singers need, whether it's reading in mixed meter, isolating tricky intervals, or reinforcing solfege. Students can practice anywhere, anytime, and you can track their growth along the way. We've used it, we love it, and we can't recommend it enough. Visit sightreadingfactory.com to see how it can transform your choir program today. At Endeavor Music Publishing, the composers come first, and it shows. Composers receive 50% of every sale, a level of support rarely seen in music publishing today. Their catalog features high-quality, community-minded works. When you program from Endeavor, you're supporting a fair model and programming music that inspires. Explore their catalog at endeavormusicpublishing.com. If you're a choir director looking for a game-changing sight singing method, meet S Cubed. One teacher said, This curriculum surpassed my expectations. There's no gaps, no fluff, just clear, detailed, and engaging lessons. All I had to do was download it and go. S-Cube gives you slides, morning work, quizzes, games, and tips for every single day, plus video guidance from Dale Duncan himself. You get your time back, your students get excited, and you get a curriculum that actually works. Start sight singing with confidence and download S-Cube today.
Hey, you were talking about all the things that you have added to SWACDA, and I've been obsessed with the things that you've been doing, specifically the Southwestern Connection, the little podcast episodes that I don't know if that was Jeffrey's idea or if it's been going on for a while, but you've continued it. And then a ton of social media presence, like with the reels and just like quotes from people. So I've been loving that. And I feel like you've really invested in the organization. So what kind of legacy do you hope to leave on this organization?
I think what I would hope, like if people, first of all, in 20 years, nobody's going to know who Jonathan Owen was.
That's not true.
Unless they had me as a student or whatever. But I would hope that if they look at an old, time capsule and it shows me or something, they can go, that was the guy that helped connect our region.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't know anybody from that state. And then, I met somebody and that's what I hope would be a legacy, I guess.
Awesome.
One other thing I'm changing schedule again, changing channels. But one thing that we are doing is during one of our site visits, we did a hot air balloon ride.
Ooh.
Which was incredible. And I'm scared of heights. Like I knew I had to do it because the city was paying for us to do this. And they were excited about us doing this. And I was scared to death. And so I kind of like squatted down because, the basket only comes up so high. And I thought, I can't fall out of this thing. I've got a family and I'm kind of squatting down. And after about 5 minutes, I was like standing up straight. It was the most peaceful, wonderful. I was not scared at all.
Yeah.
And so we are actually adding that when people register for the conference. We will not pay for it. They will have to pay for it, but we are getting a group rate and they can do a Wednesday morning hot air balloon ride.
I think it should be like the big sing, like where everybody comes together and we all get on hot air balloons
and they sing.
We sing like the balloons have to stay like sort of close together. And we just sing, some Alice Parker Up in the Sky or something.
Yeah.
So I think you need to change that.
I'll work on that. We will no longer be at the Kiva or the Chemo. We will now be in balloons.
Yes. The sky. It's free.
So come in Thursday night, get your balloon ride, which is incredible.
That's awesome.
And then spend the next several days having an awesome time. And the food is unbelievable there.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to say about SWACDA or anything else that you'd like to say that you didn't get to talk about on the podcast that you're wanting to talk about? The floor is yours, President Owen.
So personally, I've been married for 35 years to a saint who puts up with me. And we have 3 young adult children, 28, 25, and 23, 2 dogs and a cat. Back to SWACDA.
That stuff is important.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
If you've never been to a regional conference, this is the conference to come to. And if you have been to a regional conference, this is going to be different. So you need to be there. We really want you there.
Awesome. Well, I plan on going. I'm gonna be there.
Awesome.
I will I also hate heights, but hearing you say that it was the best, even though you hate heights, I will consider the hot air balloon ride.
Oh yeah, we went to Worlds of Fun for years when I was teaching. We'd go to the festival there, and I would get on those roller coasters, and the worst part is you're going up, and I had to close my eyes. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
and I could open them once we got going because everything was moving so fast. You don't really know what's going on. But before that first drop, I couldn't even open my eyes because the height, I was so scared. And so that balloon ride, I was thinking, this is like being at that one point on the roller coaster for a really long time.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. I mean, it was awesome.
Love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming on the podcast, talking about SWACDA, talking about your career. SWACDA. And I do hope like all of our listeners that
Should we take a survey of like people from the region and like put a vote? Do you pronounce it SWACDA or SWACDA?
SWACDA, or do you
Southwest ACDA?
SWACDA, or do you say Southwest ACDA, or do you have to say Southwest American Choral Directors Association? It's up to you guys. So thank you so much for being on here, and we appreciate you. And we're gonna see you next month in Springfield at the MCDA conference, and then we'll see you at MMEA. But we will also see you in Albuquerque, and we can't wait. So
I'm so happy about that. Yeah, and thank you so much for the invitation. It was great.
Yeah,
great chatting with you guys.
Awesome.
All right,
thanks, Jonathan. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of the Choir Guys podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube to the Choir Guys channel so you can know when new episodes are coming out. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. In addition to that, we have a new newsletter that is out. So you can go on our social media and you can sign up to subscribe to our newsletter. We'll have exciting things that are posted on there that aren't posted on our social media at all. Ooh. You can follow the show on all social media at the Choir Guys Pod to catch bonus content throughout the week. Feel free to message us through these platforms if you want to hear us talk about something specific on the show.
Thanks again to Jonathan Owen,
President
Jonathan Owen, for joining us on the podcast today. Make sure to tune in next time for another exciting episode.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Bye.
Have you ever stayed at a boutique hotel? One of those places where everything is curated to be ultra special? Well, that's exactly the approach they take at Walton Music. Think of Walton as your boutique choral publisher. The Walton catalog features exceptional works from around the world, each carefully chosen for its musical excellence and supported with helpful tools for performers. With Walton Music, you're not just selecting music, you're choosing a curated quality experience with all of the details to help you and your choir succeed. Encore Tours proudly supports the Choir Guys community. See how they help choirs plan international performance tours at encoretours.com/choir-guys. Do you need a dependable fall fundraiser? Kansas Made has been incredible to work with, and their pastries always arrive in time for Thanksgiving. Start the conversation now at kansasmade.com. Are you tired of logging into 5 different social media platforms to make the same post? Class Intercom connects all your school's social media accounts in one place, and you can schedule out your post ahead of time. Simple, organized, powerful. Go to classintercom.com today.